I often say original designs are hard to come by. There are a lot of different brands out there coming out with watches all the time, and it's really almost impossible not to copy other brands. Today, we're taking a look at a very original design from a brand called Naga. This is inspired by snakes. The dial, the bracelet, even the case takes inspiration from snakes. And this is an integrated bracelet watch that looks very different. I have one hands-on, so let's take a look at an integrated bracelet watch that takes inspiration from snakes. So I would say that a lot of integrated bracelets out there are kind of the same. There's the same design elements that are carried over from a lot of other brands into, other brands. Gerald Genta, the original designer of the Royal Oak and the Nautilus, he did some really good things with those watches, but they've inspired so many other watches, and now there are a lot of watches that kind of look alike. You guys know I'm always complaining about marketplaces like eBay and Chrono24. Today's video is sponsored by Chronograbs, a new marketplace that is dedicated to the enthusiast. Started by John P. of the John P. Watches YouTube channel. This new enthusiast-based marketplace is exclusively for selling your watches, and right now, if you sign up with Chronograbs, there are 0 fees, buying or selling. So that means you're going to get a better price when you're buying and more money when you're selling, because there are no fees currently on Chronograbs. And also, if you sign up right now for a free account on Chronograbs, by June 15th, you are automatically entered to win a Tudor Black Bay watch. All you have to do is sign up for a free account on Chronograbs. Again, that is chronograbs.com. Definitely check out their website for more information on the giveaway and giveaway details. To get an original design like this is pretty rare. And the inspiration behind this watch is kind of weird. Snakes. You're getting this scale, this reptilian scale bracelet, which is definitely something very bespoke. You have little coffin links on here, but it's not like any other bracelet that I've seen. So it's definitely somewhat bespoke, and it's really nicely made. It's very nicely finished. You have a line of polish that goes down the center, those center links. Essentially, this is a 5-link bracelet. It's just something very different. And then that design is carried over into the dial. You have a textured dial that sort of mimics that bracelet. And then you have an oval case and a slightly domed sapphire crystal to match. So everything here is very cohesive in design. This is an Italian brand. I think they did a really good job with the overall look and feel of this watch. It says Naga on the dial, and that's really it. So it's a very clean design as well. Just at the bottom of the dial, right above the 6 o'clock position, it says automatic, and that is it. And then you have a chapter ring. The chapter ring is in blue that matches this dial. So all the dials, they all have the same sort of setup. So the chapter ring has little cutouts where it fits the indices that are applied. So those are applied and they're filled with lume. The hands also filled with lume. You have a little counterbalance on the second hand. I'm not sure if there's lume in the second hand, but we will do a lume shot towards the end of the video. You have a bezel. The bezel is brushed on the top, polished on the sides, and then the same thing goes for the case, except the sides aren't fully polished. They are brushed, but you have a really nice line of polish that goes through the case into the bracelet, and it is brushed on the top. So very nice case. You have small crown guards, and again, you're getting that same treatment. And then you have a 6-sided crown. It is a little bit on the smaller side when you look at the size of this watch. So in my opinion, it could be a little bit larger. It's easy to use, but I always like to see a slightly larger crown. This is around a 39 millimeter watch. I measured 38.8 millimeters. If you're not including those crown guards, if you do, obviously it's going to be bigger, but I wouldn't include that into the measurement because I think it wears like a 39 millimeter watch, maybe a 40 millimeter watch, but not with those crown guards. And then you do have a 49.5 millimeter lug to lug. That's because you get male end length. So unfortunately, that is pretty long. So that will be a problem for small wrists. Larger wrists or medium-sized wrists, that won't be a problem. Thickness is pretty thin, actually. It's 10.4 millimeters. That's because you're getting an automatic movement inside as a Miyota 9000 series, the 9039. So this does not have a date. That is the dateless version of the Miyota 9000 series. And you're getting 100 meters of water resistance and all of that included in that thickness. So that is very, very good. The texturing on the dial is very distinct. I like it. It sort of looks like scales again, with that theme and the bracelet and the case, and even the case shape kind of reminds you of maybe a cobra head or something like that, which I think looks really good. You have a double push button enclosure here. There's a little perlage on there. Obviously no on the fly micro adjust, unfortunately, because this is a butterfly clasp. And then you have a little bit of artwork on the case back. It gives you all the details about the watch, and it is screwed in. On my wrist today, I have the Strange from Grandeur. This is a crazy hour watch, which is pretty crazy, I have to say. It's a pretty strange watch in general. The case is strange, and the overall design is kind of crazy. And the review for this either is on the channel already or will be dropping very soon. And there it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. Like I was saying, it's like a 39 millimeter watch. It wears like a 40 millimeter watch in my opinion, because you do have a pretty long lug to lug, and overall integrated bracelet watches usually wear just slightly larger than their said dimensions. It is thin at 10.4 millimeters thick, and you can see that bracelet is pretty awesome. Again, I have a 7.5 inch wrist. This is around a 39 millimeter watch. And there you go, Lume, very liberally applied to the hands and indices. Those indices are applied, and there is a lot of lume in them, and the hands are pretty liberally applied with lume as well. So they are very bright, and it does last pretty long. The only thing I would say is that there is no lume on the second hand, which of course I love to see, because I like to see that my watch is working in the dark. Other than that, no real complaints from the Lume. The price on this watch is $899 currently on their website. It is a lot of money for a watch with a Miyota 9039. I hear you guys. I could hear it in the comments already. However, when you consider that this is pretty much a bespoke watch, they made their own design and made it from scratch, that is very difficult. So this design is not something that you're going to see on somebody else's wrist. It's something very different. And to do that, it costs a lot of money. So I would imagine that they invested a lot of money specifically in this bracelet and of course that case. The dial is beautiful as well, but I think it's the case and the bracelet that would cost a lot of money on this watch, because they would have to make it from scratch. And that is very, very difficult and very expensive. So that's really it. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I will put a link to their website down in the description. Definitely check them out if you are interested. It is a very nicely made watch, and I think a very distinct looking watch. You're not going to see it on anybody else's wrist. That's because nobody else makes a watch that looks like this right now. So pretty cool. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys in the next video.